and welcome to Magical Taruruuto-Kun. Japanese only Genesis game / Mega Drive. Based on an anime manga. Was actually created by Game Freak, if you can believe it. Yeah, really cute game. Going into this, I think this run has a lot of cute tech. It's has some nice tech here and there, but we'll get to it when we get there. Before the run starts, I'm gonna have to show you guys the Sega logo. Now look at that, isn't that adorable? Alright, I always love that. Alright, I'm gonna count down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So like I said before, this game is based on an existing manga / anime. Now, have I watched or read said anime / manga? No, I have not. So my story is gonna be very abridged. Basically, some girl got kidnapped and you have to save her by some guy I don't know. And normally I have splits that tells me who these characters are by name, and I don't have them with me, so I'm just gonna have to go off what I assume their names are, just based on looks. So she gives you the hubbub like, oh no, something's going down, whatever. And it's like, alright, I guess it's up to me to do something. So this level right here, pretty straightforward. You just hold right most of the way through. So right there, there's a small little tech you can do there. If you look left when you're in mid-air, you actually hold the screen in place. And objects that are moving towards you, they're screen-based. So you can delay the arrival of the next cart that comes up, so you can survive the next wave pretty seamlessly. So here we have some helicopter guy. I don't know his purpose. I didn't really look in depth of the Wikipedia of this yet. But I would presume he's not a good guy. So, although this is an auto-scroller section, this won't be the last time we see of this guy. So we're just gonna wait it out until he's done shooting his bullets here. But after this second wave, he will do enough damage to break the windows here. And we'll just exit onwards. So we're coming up to the first boss of the game. He's a fat guy, I guess. I have a name for him. Oh, okay, so the damage I took earlier, I forgot I took it. So I guess we'll do the fight again. So normally the strat here is take 2 hits here, grab the soccer ball, and keep throwing it at him. So the soccer ball does double damage than what the wand does. And the wand is just, additional damage I add onto it. So normally, that would just be a 2 damage booster. But I had 1 less health going into that, and I somewhat forgot about that. Whoops. But at least you saw how that's supposed to look like. So we're in stage 2. Has some pretty difficult screens here. This first one is pretty simple. There is going to be something interesting at the end here. But this is more or less just holding straight. Look at those clouds. There are items in this game where you can actually wield a gun. So that cannon blaster enemy there that's like driving away, you can actually hit him and you can just wield a gun and kill everything on screen, and you can cause some massive genocide, and the cloud just smiles away. Can't believe it took this long to bring this up, but there's a move in this movement I'm doing called just gliding. Taruruuto's normal walking speed is painfully slow. So when you glide into the air and land, you will gain a top speed, and you go much faster than that. So right there, that was a warp. So how that game treats transitioning to different levels is as long as you hit the right side of the screen when the level trigger is active. So at that point, there is a door you go into that takes you to this location. But as long as you are on the far right of the screen close to it, you will just trigger it without even getting there first. So it actually saves like 2 to 3 seconds, and it's pretty nice. So I'm taking a lot more damage than I would like to, but Overall, this part isn't the worst taking damage in. There is a section after the mini boss fight in stage 2 that I can get a full health refill. But of course, I would much rather not be in 1 health, but you know, it's all good. The general movement is basically timing your jumps and optimally choosing when to glide at certain situations. So there's no faster way than just simply gliding. Gliding, and once you're running, that's just the fastest you can go. So movement and optimization will just come down to timing your jumps and not bonking into anything as you go along. So we have our mini boss for stage 2, Mikotaka. There are 2 statues positioned in this boss arena. It deals double damage. As you can see, there's a little trend where items does way more damage than, you know, the wand I have. And the wand does 1 damage. So she goes in a very precise arc every single time, so you can just know where she's going to be as long as you time the hits correctly. So there's a small little health refill that I will like to use because there's going to be a damage boost later on in the stage. So I say this screen and the next 2 are the most difficult ones. One of the few difficult levels in terms of optimization. So it's going to be our first somewhat glitch here. If you're in between 2 platforms that are really thin with each other, like that one, the game just lets you jump through the ceiling that's on top of you, and you can just scale upwards and jump up the ceiling, like the long walls, and just fly all the way to the end of the screen there. Just really nice, because that part is actually pretty difficult. This section right here, if I can time these series of inputs well, I could just barely squeeze by all that, and that's the damage boost I wanted. So you don't have to wait for the little enemy to come off the hole and you can squeeze down there. You can just go right through it normally. Here's Minora. Not much to say here besides she will throw these little projectiles. There's 2 angles she can shoot them at, an upwards angle and a downwards angle. As long as you do a delayed jump and glide, you can just avoid both of them. Now, you can obviously do this a tad faster, but if you do it any faster way, you can risk getting hit by that downwards angle that she does if you go really fast. So delaying it just guarantees you that you kind of survive that. So I forgot to mention, at the end of every major level, when you defeat a boss, you do get an ability. If you look on the bottom screen, you see a magic bar, well, like a magic count. That's the ability that I can wield for as long as I press the A button. So the first boss, which is the soccer guy, he gives you invincibility as long as I press A. Minora gives me a screen wipe, which just clears all the enemies in 1 blow. That's useless, as far as I know. There's no good use of it, and it takes a long time for that ability to be active. But invincibility and the final one will be useful. Magic will be used in this stage, but a bit later on. So I'm bringing this box over to this mini-boss here, because it one-shots him. Normally it takes 10 hits with your wand, your little wimpy wand, but the box just utterly destroys him, which is great. So this is an auto-scroller, once again. One of the more, like, riskier ones, too. So this is a 2-minute auto-scroller with no checkpoints at all. And you can guess what happens if you fall off these clouds. You just instantly die. So the one thing I want to do is not die here, because if I die really late into it, I'm doing this whole auto-scroller all over again. And it doesn't help I have 1 health, so even if I don't fall and just take a damage, I'm still in a bad situation. Albeit it doesn't matter much, because the chances of you landing on something after getting hit backwards, it's kind of unlikely. But it does, like, just completely eliminates the chance of surviving if I do get hit. So this is a really scary spot, but it's not random, so you could just gradually just learn what comes up and what position you need to be in for what situation. And overall, it's not the worst, but it does get people a lot for people who are first learning this game. It definitely got me to learning this. I could die like 3 to 4 times before I finally exit this level, and all of a sudden I'm like 8 minutes behind. But, you know, it is what it is with this game. So I'm going to be a little more silent because I would like to just ensure I get out of here. I have been in this situation a good amount of times, but you never know. You can't be too safe. Alright, that's the final enemy there. Fly over here and we'll enter our next screen. This screen is probably the one of the more harder ones to optimize. There's a really tight trick later on where you barely look like you're touching spikes to just squeeze to a top portion of the level. But if you get it right, it's pretty nice. So right here, I'm gonna see if I can do it. Oh, I didn't get it. I almost got hit too, so at least I'm glad if I had to mess it up, at least I didn't die for it. So you're able to get up that spike platform with where the chest is, and you get a full health refill. And it saves you time from having to go through that whole section, just waiting for the platform. So that's our first use of magic. So like I said, this is invincibility. It just makes this part just much easier. Normally you'd have to wait a long time to kill the little red hands. The red hands have like 5 health. So you're just battling it out with them for a way long time. So it's just better off to just pop the invincibility and go along your merry way. So this section here, that's a pretty tough section to not get killed at. You could just wait it out and take them out one by one, but you know, all of a matter of speed, right? And one thing I always brought up before is I don't understand the continuity of these stages. We went through a mountainside to a lava pit to like some riverside. I'm not sure how these are interconnected. Maybe I need to watch the anime or something. But I don't fully understand that. But I kind of let it rock. So Duwaha is the 3rd boss. This is for stage 3, the hardest boss in the game, without a doubt. Your wand, it has pitiful range. It's awful. And you have to deal 10 hits to this guy, but you have like little to no range to hit him. There is a safe strat by just popping the invincibility, but it is a little slower. So you saw me get hit there. You could technically just get all 10 hits without taking damage or needing to use the magic at all. But that's the backup that you have to resort to if things don't go your way. It's hard because Duwaha bobs back and forth, and if he just bobs back when you attack, you just can't reach him at all. There's just no way. So this is the final level of the game. Pretty simple first section of the final level. Besides the part where I just got hit. Normally that's the part that don't normally get hit by, but that's not a big deal. Hold right the whole way, enter the next screen, and you see, oh, this guy looks familiar. Helicopter guy again. This is around a minute plus as well. I don't know what's his deal. I'm just a kid with a dream, and he's just kind of in my groove. I don't know. He needs to kind of take a hike. But yeah, not much here. You just jump the platforms. Casually, this is a part that can get people by surprise. Because halfway through this section, these gaps get really wide. So pretty simple to get through these, but eventually they get pretty wide like that one. And there's one that is pretty painful. The gap is wide, but in the same time, the next platform is risen up much more higher than normal. So this platform right here, that chest, jump up here, you come up here. If you do a normal walk and jump and glide, you can't reach that at all. You have to actually rev up, it's not Sonic. You have to get a little glide going, speed boost, jump over that. So I'm gonna presume this guy's like, alright, well, you beat me, go this way and you'll find your damsel in distress. Something like that, I don't know. So here's the last area of the game, the castle. Biggest series of challenges in this level here. So the next room here, there is a really hard skip to do. So around level 2, there's these platforms that, so there's a button that you press here, and if I touch that platform on the right, it does rise it back up, rise it back in place, but you can skip that with a really precise jump. I didn't get it, but that's not something that you should expect getting a lot, but it is a cool skip you can get. Saves a good amount of time. There is a trick I'm gonna try to go for here. It's called a blue wall clip. I didn't get it though. You're able to kind of crouch in between the little corridors there, and you can just jump inside of the wall and go through the ceiling. It's a pretty hard one to get, but doesn't save much time. You're way better off just taking your loss and just keep going. So I made a kind of a somewhat crucial mistake here, missing up all these cycles here. There we go. All right. So a big issue about this section here is that these platforms, you know, once they're going, they're going. They won't come back until they hit the very end of their trail. So I messed up a jump and I had to come back and wait for it to come back, which is a pretty annoying, but this game is really generous with its lives. So this one right here, so I took a lot of damage than I would like to. When I normally damage boost here is to get through that, so I don't have to ride the platform all the way down. But yeah, this game is generous with its lives. If I happen to lose all 3 of my lives, and granted there's like 2 extra lives just lying around every other level, you have 5 continues just on the back burner. So even if like things go really bad, the game just still throws you a bone, which is really nice. I'm not complaining about that at all. So we're ending up to the final sections here. Yeah, so level 4 is easily the longest one. It just goes on and on, but we're about to get to the very last sections here. Going up to this final vertical climb here, and we're gonna go into one of the hardest screens in the game, which is pink wall clip. I want to try to pause buffer to get a clip inside of this wall so I can stand on it. If I can get it. That'd be nice if I do. No? And then you want to jump on top of the wall, which is also the really hard part. There we go. You get up here. So normally you have to just take the door on the right, and you have to go through 2 different rooms. So it saves like 10 seconds, but the time save wasn't really there if I took as long as I did, but at least I got it. Alright, we're going to the final stretch here. Facing up to our final boss, Ryvar, which is responsible for stealing our damsel. So first section here, you want to deal 10 damage on these little statues. Switch to the weapon we got from chapter 3, which is a really hard dealing weapon. And this guy has 10 hits, but the weapon I have does 5, so I just have to do 5 here. And after the 5th hit, once he comes back, deal the final blow, and once he lands, that is time. Yeah, and that's magical Taruruuto-Kun. 17, 12, not too bad. I was kind of trying to go for the 16, but overall, that's not too bad. I'll definitely take a 17.